Hello, I am Eloy Sumian Arnaiz and I will be discussing the female reproductive system and the changes that occur during aging. Now, the changes that occur during aging include a drier, less elastic vaginal canal, a flattening of the labia, loss of vulvar and subcutaneous hair, endocervical epithelium atrophy, endometrium atrophy, more alkaline and vaginal environment, and the cervix may also become smaller. Ovaries also become thicker and smaller. Fallopian tubes may atrophy and shorten. Now, I will be discussing the estrogen functions. Why? Because most of the changes that occur in the reproductive system of a woman is attributed to the decline of estrogen levels in their body. Now, what is the function of estrogen exactly? Estrogen helps to stimulate the growth of the egg follicle, and it stimulates the pituitary gland in the brain to release hormones that assist in the follicular development. In the fallopian tubes, estrogens are responsible for developing a thick muscular wall and for the contractions that transport the egg and sperm cells. Now, this is important. Estrogens also build and maintain the endometrium, the mucous membrane that lines the uterus. Now, estrogen is also responsible for the acceleration of hair growth. So, if you're high in estrogen, your hair is more likely to be healthier and longer. While if you have decreased levels of oxygen, your hair is more likely to experience hair loss. Now, increase in the endometrium size and weight, cell number and cell type, blood flow, protein and content, and enzyme activity is also attributed to the estrogen. Estrogen is also responsible in stimulating the muscles in the uterus to develop and contract. Contractions are important in helping the wall slough off dead cells during menstruation. Now, estrogen is thought to regulate the flow and thickness of mucus secretions that enhance sperm transport. So, I will be showing you a picture of the estrogen level in a woman's body as they age. This is the estrogen hormone level of a woman as they age from 20 to 80. Now, at the age of 20, our estrogen levels are high, but at the age of 30, they gradually increase until the age of 35. And it starts to gradually decline as the age of 40, 50, 60, and 70 until the age of 80, where there is lesser, even smaller amount of estrogen present in the body. Now, what does the decline of estrogen level mean in a woman's body? It means that there is a drier, less elastic vaginal canal. Now, we must remember that the cervix is responsible for producing moist secretions. It moistens and enhances the vaginal canal. It moistens and enhances the ability of a sperm to travel through the vaginal canal. Now, estrogen is responsible for regulating the flow and thickness of these mucus secretions. Now, with the decline of estrogen, there is also a decline in the secretions, making the vagina drier and less elastic. Another change is the flattening of the labia. Flattening of the labia, as seen in the picture, is attributed to estrogen because subcutaneous fat is affected by the level of estrogen in the body. As estrogen level declines, subcutaneous fat decreases, especially along the labial parts. Another is the loss of vulvar and subcutaneous hair. As explained before, if the level of estrogen in your body is high, then your hair is most likely to grow healthier, longer, and when you are decreased in estrogen, your body, the subcutaneous hair in your body is less likely to grow fuller, which may be attributed to thinning of the hair. And this is due to the block of the production of dihydrotestosterone, which is known to cause hormonal androgenic hair loss, since estrogen plays a direct role in inhibiting the production of DHT. This results in inhibition of the loss or thinning of hair. Now, you can see that the endocervical epithelium atrophy and the endometrium atrophies in this picture. This is again attributed to the lower level of estrogen, because there is, I will mention again that as you age, there is thinning and drying of the vaginal walls, and it also is applicable to the endocervical epithelium and the endometrium. As you can see, the endometrium here is thinner, and there are sure ways of signs of degeneration. This atrophy most often occur after menopause. Another thing is that there is more alkaline vaginal environment. The estrogen and the vaginal microbiome work together to maintain a pH level of less than 4.5, which is healthy for the vagina. Now, as estrogen levels decrease, this causes the pH level to rise to a more alkaline level. This is connected to the atrophy of the epithelium cells. Since the epithelium cells are the ones that regulate the acidity via proton secretion, and with its degeneration come the more alkaline environment of the vagina. Now, as you can see in this picture, that the cervix here, this is before menopause and this is after menopause, that the cervix becomes smaller, although the size does not decrease to an extreme extent, but it is still noticeable. As estrogen levels drop, the ovaries become thicker and smaller, and the fallopian tubes also atrophy and shorten. Now, as you can see in the picture, that the ovaries become smaller and thicker compared to the one on the left. The fallopian tubes are also notably degenerating compared to the one on the left. Now, it is important that a woman should have regular checkups of the reproductive system, and it is an important strategy for the nurse to improve reproductive system health. For the older woman, an actual gynecological checkup, including a pap smear, yearly is required, and she should also be aware of about breast self-examination. Now, it is still important to maintain a proper diet and exercise. Now, despite all these changes mentioned, an older woman's capacity to engage in and enjoy intercourse and other forms of sexual pleasure should remain unaffected. That would be all. Thank you.